Hello everyone and welcome to a writing lesson with me, Miss Chloe. Thank you so much for joining us today. We're going to be writing an opinion piece, and the only materials we will need for this lesson are a pencil and a writer's notebook or a couple of pieces of paper. So let's grab those items and get started. Okay, I've got my writer's notebook and my pencil here. If you have the kind of writer's notebook where half of the paper is blank or unlined and half of it is lined, that's okay. We're still gonna write our title at the top of our paper, all right? So let's write it. Which is better? This is a question we're going to be using a lot in our opinion writing, comma. Which is better, comma. And for our Writers Workshop assignment today, I asked my second graders, which is better? Colored pencils or crayons? Question mark. All right. So we're writing our title at the top of our paper. The next part of our opinion writing chart, we're going to draw 3 rectangles that are going to help us organize our thoughts. Really similar to a beginning, middle, and end chart. Okay, but this is an opinion writing chart. So let's draw 3 rectangles, and you want to make them not too big and not too small. You don't want to be stuck with one big rectangle and 2 skinny ones at the bottom. So watch me. We're drawing 3 rectangles. They don't have to be perfect, but we don't want them to be scribble scrabble. Okay, so I've got my title and I have my 3 rectangles. We're going to leave the first rectangle blank, and we're going to number these second 2 rectangles, 1 and 2. Cool. So for the first rectangle, this is where we're going to put the intro or our starter sentence. And for these other 2 rectangles, we're going to give reason number 1 and reason number 2. Let's start with our intro, our starter sentence. And you might remember this starter sentence from last year when we did opinion writing in 1st grade. In my opinion, comma, blank is better than blank because. Go on, write your starter sentence in your first rectangle. You'll notice I left the because with no period because we're not finished with our sentence. So don't write a period or a comma after because. We're going to keep on going right into our first reason. So I want you to think about which one you use more often. Which one do you like to use when you're doing an art project or coloring in a picture? Do you like using crayons or colored pencils more? Now I want you to think about why you like one over the other. There's lots of reasons to like crayons and colored pencils. Colored pencils and crayons have many, many, many good features. But I want you to tell me which one you think is better. In my opinion, blank is better than blank because now in the first blank, you're going to put the one you think is better. Let's say I believe that crayons are better. I'll write crayons. If you believe that colored pencils are better, you'll write colored pencils here. And then go ahead and write the other art supply in your second blank. Okay, now let's give some reasons. In my opinion, crayons, oh, and I just realized I put is here, but we use is when we're only talking about one thing. And we're talking about crayons and colored pencils. So I need to replace this is. Go ahead and replace the is. I'm going to replace it with the word are. Crayons are better than colored pencils because. Even teachers make mistakes. So something that I really like about crayons is that you can blend crayons together really easily to make new colors. That's what I'm going to put for my first reason. Right. You can blend two crayons together to make new colors. Period. That's the end of my sentence. So this part and this part actually make one long sentence in my opinion writing. And that's okay. Just don't forget to put a period at the end of your sentence. You don't need to use my reason. You could use any reason you like. I'm just using this reason as an example. Now I want you to think of a second reason why one is better than the other. So for my second reason, I'm thinking, something I like a lot about crayons is that you can use them to fill in a big space. So this is how I'm going to write that. You can also, there's my linking word, also use crayons to fill in a big space quickly. Period. There it is. Now, I actually created 2 opinion charts so that we could talk about both crayons and colored pencils. So here I have my second opinion chart, and here I'm talking about colored pencils being better. I almost ran out of room. In my opinion, colored pencils are better than crayons because, let's think about some things I like about colored pencils. Well, one thing I like about colored pencils is that colored pencils are good for filling in tiny things. And details, period. A crayon, I feel like it's really hard to get those teeny tiny little details, or if you drew like a very small flower or a tiny star, it's a lot easier to fill in with colored pencils. So my first reason, for my opinion, colored pencils are better than crayons is that colored pencils are good for filling in tiny things and details. What's something else that I think is really better about colored pencils? You know what I like about colored pencils? It's the same thing I like about regular pencils. They're better for writing. So that's what I'm going to write for my second reason. And I'm going to start with my linking word also, comma, colored pencils are great for writing and outlining. Exclamation point. I'm excited about that. That's why I ended my sentence with an exclamation point over a period. So we've got our opinion chart with our title, our starter sentence, and our 2 reasons why we believe that one art supply is better than the other. Later on, we're going to be using these opinion charts to help us expand our writing, because once we have our starter sentence, our intro, main idea, and then reasons or details in sentences to back up our main idea or our intro, then it makes writing and expanding our writing more and more, a lot easier. And I think it makes it fun too. I like making charts. All right, second grade, thank you for joining me in this lesson, and I can't wait to read your writing. So please post your finished opinion writing chart on Seesaw, and I'll see you all real soon. Thanks, everybody.